to Scrappin with Sheri. I am super excited about the page layout I'm going to show you today for a couple of reasons. One, it is very easy. Two, I'm using some of the Croptoberfest papers that people keep telling me, oh, I don't need that, it's all owls, yada, yada, yada. I'm loving the Croptoberfest colors, particularly in light of the vacation we took out west last month. So those are two of the reasons I'm excited. Three is the fact that I'm finally starting to scrapbook more of these vacation pictures that I absolutely love. So let's dive in. Let me show you something really easy, really pretty. I have pulled all Croptoberfest papers. Now, some of these are from the Croptoberfest recipe kit. Some of these are from the accessory pack. Right off the top of my head, I can't tell you which is which. I think this is from the accessory pack, and I think the others may be from the recipe kit. But don't quote me on that because I'm not positive. But I love these paper colors, and given the fact that our trip was out west and involved a lot of the really bright blue sky and the reddish color, brownish, orangish rocks, these colors are perfect for me. I'll be ordering lots of these Croptoberfest papers. So I've pulled these two. These are the tan colored leaves, and these are going to be my background. You know, I like a background that's kind of nondescript, but with some texture to it. The back is all owls on here. I don't have a need for the owls, but I sure do love this background. This would be beautiful for weddings. It's just such a pretty, I don't know, it's just a pretty muted shade, and the pattern in it is very subtle, and it's just pretty. So that's going to be the background. I'm going to use the blue that is very similar to that. It's got the same leaves, but in the blue colors. I'm going to use that. Now, on the back of it, it's got these trees with an owl, but the blue is awesome. I'm going to use this orange plaid, and this is great. It's got an orange and blue stripe on the back that's also nice. And then I'm going to use this darker blue stripe that's got just a little bit of this brownie orange. And then I also found this is out of one of the Croptoberfest kits, and I just had this scrap left over, which I think will be perfect. So I'm going to set my backgrounds aside for a second and do the cutting. Now, I'm not really thinking a whole lot about my cuts, but I did need two colors to be really focal in this. And so for me, I think I want the orange to be a little bit larger in the center of my page. So I'm going to cut two 4-inch stripes. So I'm going to cut a 4 and a 4. This other 4 I'm not going to use right now, so I'm going to lay it aside. And then I'm going to take this down to an 11-inch. So I'm stacking these two 4x12s together, and I'm just going to cut off 1 inch on this short end. So I've got two 4x11s of this orangey brownish color. Now I just had a scrap of this, and I think it's a 4x6, looks like. Because it's just a scrap, I'm just going to cut that in half and make it a 2-inch wide. And you know how I love to use scraps, but you could take a 4x6 and cut it in half to make it 2 there and not have trouble at all. All right, my blue, this is going to kind of be a real big focal point, and I think my pictures will look really pretty on it. I'm going to cut it at 6 inches. So when I cut through the middle at 6 inches, I'm going to have two 6-inch blocks here. And I'm going to cut this down a little bit more than I did my brown. I'm going to cut it down 1.5 inches. And I'm just laying those little tabs to the side because who knows, we may come up with a great idea for those as well. And then my stripe is really going to be just my let's tie it all in together color. And I'm going to make a 1-inch stripe of this. Now you notice I laid my stripe sideways so that when I cut it, I get the cross section of the stripe. If I cut it this way, I'm only going to get parts of the colors. I like my stripes in a cross section. And I'm going to cut one more of those because we're doing a 2-page spread here. So I've got all of the cutting done, and I've got all this paper left. Look how pretty that is too. Oh my goodness, I love the Croptoberfest papers. So let's lay this out. Now remember, these are my backgrounds. I'm going to put the 2 oranges in the center. And I'll line these up in just a minute. You know, if you have the 13-inch mats, that's a great way to line this stuff up too. I haven't pulled mine out. I've got my stuff packed up, ready to go to an event tomorrow, and I just haven't pulled everything out. Then I'm going to put these little lighter blues on the outside edge. And then this stripe, I'm going to take right through here. And look how pretty that is. Now, there is no rhyme nor reason as to how I laid these out. So if you wanted to take your stripe through here, you could do that. I personally think I want the size difference to show here, and it won't show up quite as much if I take my stripe there. So I think my stripe is going to end up over here. So let me tape these down real quick, and then we'll talk about photo placement. So I'm going to start with these oranges in the middle. And I keep calling this orange. It's really very much a brownish orange, but perfect for this out west trip. I know I've seen on the Creative Memories virtual crop page, several people have done pictures of the out west lately, and what a perfect kit this Croptoberfest stuff is for those out west pictures, because the sky is so blue. The rocks are so brownish orange in so many of the places. Now I could have gone with this other blue on the background, but I did want a little bit of contrast here. I wanted something just a little bit different. And I felt like having the darker blue and the lighter blue make sure that my sky colors are covered. You know, sometimes the sky doesn't look the same color in all your pictures. So I felt like that would take care of that. And I'm not going to leave a ton of that blue showing, so I'm probably going to butt this stripe right up against this blue here. That only leaves me about 1 inch of the lighter blue showing. But I'm good with that. Now let's go ahead and tape these and get this evened up, and then we'll be ready to lay out some photos. When you are starting a new album, do you just get really excited about those new pictures, seeing all your stuff again? I have, I scrapbook a lot. I try to do a little bit every day. But starting this Out West album has just been so exciting to me. I'm still waiting on some photos to come in, but I've organized the ones I have. And just getting ready to start doing a few pages is really exciting to me. You know, to make these blues the same, I'm just going to pop this page over here just to make sure I line them up in the same area. All right, and one more stripe, and we're ready for pictures. You know, I have been thinking about it for several weeks, but I want to thank all of you for jumping on here, for subscribing, for letting me know your comments on things. It really helps me to know what you're enjoying, what you're not enjoying. But I love it when you tell people about our channel so we can get more subscribers. Now, it's not necessarily for a monetary gain because I don't make any money off of this right now. But it does encourage me to know that people are seeing these ideas and enjoying them. And, you know, I like making them. So as long as there are people who see them and enjoy them, I'll keep doing it. Now, here's what I've got. This is going to the Chaco Culture Center. And I had our parking permit. Now, it doesn't really match anything, but I love that because it has the date on there so nice and big. I did go ahead and print this off of the internet that tells what the Chaco area was and why it was important. I've got the pictures of this butte, and I've got one further away and one closer up. I don't really need both of those, but I have this that tells what this butte is and why it's important. Now, I did talk about the fact that I had matted my pictures in the developing process this time. So you can see I've got the white outline around all of my pictures. And I do still like that. I do want this about what is important about the Chaco Canyon, because my next few pictures will be our journey into the Chaco Canyon. I'm just trying to figure out this layout here. I think I want this overlapping because this is not my favorite photo, but I do like having the information there. And this one is a little bit too big for the space I have it. So let's just cut it down a touch. This one I did print on my Epson printer. And I think I'm going to cut off that little title piece at the top because I don't really need to know what tribes lived in Chaco Canyon. This says the Chacoan sites are part of da-da-da-da-da. So I kind of like that. I'm almost thinking I could slide this in here too if I did some moving around. And that would get my brochure on there. That would get all the memorabilia type stuff over on this page right off the bat. And you know, I don't want this book to be 400 pages, although it's going to be really thick, and I know that. What about something like that? Now, I've covered up tons of my design over here, and I'm not wild about that necessarily. And I don't really like that these pictures are not the same size. So let's just make that happen. I've got this excess here that I can crop off, but I want to make sure that I get my white back on there. So what I'm going to do is run my tape runner right down along this. And I'm going to just add that picture back onto that border. So I still have my white border all the way around, which was my goal. I can scoot that over, that over, that over. And I'm leaving a little bit of space so you can see the blues and the orangey browns around. And that's going right there. All right, so that page is basically finished. Now this, I'm not going to put on top of a page protector. We don't usually open these brochures again, but if we wanted to, I could take the page protector off and I could get it open. So I'm not going to take the time to put it on top of a page protector, strictly because if I do, it's going to flop all over the place anyway. I just like to have it in there mainly for the title, not necessarily for anything else. Now, all I've lost on this is this photo that's basically the same as that one, and I'm okay with that. So, one photo gone on that page. Now, let's look at our other page and see what we've got that we can put there really quick. Now, this one was in the visitor center, and it just talks about the road to Chaco. I don't necessarily have to have that one. If I need an up and down, this one might be a good one, but doesn't have to go in. I've got this that has the Chaco culture. We do like to take the pictures of these national park signs when we're going into the parks. That's really important to my husband. And I want to do kind of a mix of some up and downs and some side to sides. And do I have another up and down? I have one more that's up and down, and it's through a window. I don't really have to write about this because I've got this information here. So I'm okay with not writing anything on here. I've got the Chaco culture here. Of course, I've got more pictures, but there are going to be tons of pages for this particular place anyway. So let's stick these photos down real quick, and we'll have another 2-page spread done. Now, if you watch the video about how I organize my photos to get ready to do an album, you'll know that right now all my other photos, memorabilia, paper pieces, everything are in my Power Layouts box. So when I finish these 2 pages, they will go right back into the Power Layouts box where they are in order. You know, this is not the first day or the second day or the third day. These were just pages I decided, I love these Croptoberfest papers. This is what I want to do today. So I did them. So I'll put them back into the Power Layouts box where they were. Of course, there are lots more pictures of this particular place. So this will go back with those photos. And when I start actually putting them onto the pages to go into my album, they'll already be done. And I love that. I love it when I flip a Power Layouts guide and I have pages already done. Just something about these pre-done pages that encourages me to keep moving. And again, I know for some of you, this green permit would just throw you all off because it doesn't really match. To me, I like the memorabilia stuff. So, yeah, I don't love it that it doesn't match. But there is some green here. So, I can kind of justify it in that way. I do love the fact that that date on there is just so nice and big. And 2 more pictures. And we'll call this done. Now, some of you will have problems with a page like this because there's no embellishment. There's not really anything much that talks about the Chaco Culture Center as far as creative memories embellishments. Now, when I go back and start embellishing, I may look for something like travel or memories or something like that. An embellishment right here would be nice, but I probably won't even embellish these until I'm almost finished. I may go back into my Wanderlust collection and look for things there that would match this and maybe put something here. But for now, I'm calling these pages done. They're very simple. They're very plain, but they showcase my photos, and that's why I do what I do. So, I hope you enjoy this. Remember, your measurements were 2, 4, and 6. I cut off 1 inch here, 1.5 inches here. This is a 1-inch border. Really easy measurements, really pretty, quick pages. Until next time, happy scrapping.